So it's been a little while since I've done a rant video. And I think I probably covered off on some of this stuff before, but hey, it's relevant now because lately there's been a few things that have just kind of gotten under my skin. Number one, Audiophiles. Now, I love a good sounding record. I love when I update my turntable and stereo, maybe start hearing things I didn't hear before. I love the immersive feeling of getting into an album by someone. And for me, the best way to do that, usually, there's some caveats, is buying a vinyl record and listening to it between two speakers. Why do I say usually? Because there's some crappy pressings out there of newer records with very little quality control, and some of the 90s stuff I just feel like it was made to be heard on CD and it's not available right now in some cases. But yes, under optimal cases, buying something on vinyl, a decent pressing, listening to it on a decent stereo system, great. This sort of one-upping though about the best pressing. Are you sure you've got the best pressing? I don't know. There might be a better one out there. What you just listened to, you loved it, but hey, maybe you should compare it to another one just so you're sure you really like that. Just so you're sure you really liked the experience of listening to your favorite record on vinyl. Now, this comes from a Steve Hoffman message board thread where some guy was saying you shouldn't review records unless you can compare them to multiple pressings, which is just ridiculous. Show me a published review of any magazine or reputable online source where people are comparing pressings in a record review. Absolutely nonsense. I don't have to listen to multiple versions or even a second version of something to know if it sounds good. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, it's the best pressing ever, but I can say, hey, that sounds really good. And I don't necessarily need to disclose to you what stereo system I'm listening to it on. If it sounds good on mine, it's going to sound good on yours. I know there's high end, like fucking around with shit and all that stuff, but I don't really care for that. I can't stand sort of the one-upping thing where, somebody's always going to have something nicer than you, some better stereo system, some better speakers, a better amp, whatever. But we all have ears, and we can tell when something sounds good and something sounds bad. And, I think of the Chicago Tribune and Chicago Sun-Times writers. One of them, I think it was Jim Rodriguez. They do this show called Sound Opinions. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. He prides himself. He just listens to music on a boombox. He doesn't get into any of this stuff. Hey, great. You can still. You tell me he can't tell you if something sounds good, if something's a good record, if it moves him, all that stuff. Not complete nonsense. So that stuff I just find completely ridiculous. But then again, I'm not one that subscribed to Audiophile magazine. I remember flipping through it a few times, like, give me a break. Totally not me. But I will not hesitate to tell you guys, if I think something sounds good. Like, wow, this amazing pressing, it sounds really good. Did I listen to all the pressings out there? Hell no. I don't have time for that, and I'm not going to go buy a bunch of pressings of something either. One usually suffices. If there's something better comes along and I get that, great. I'll probably get rid of the other one. Anyway, I know people collect different versions and pressings and all that. I'm guessing you're not really watching my channel if you're super into that stuff. All right, Audiophiles. Whatever. They just get under my skin sometimes. Number two, flipping. Like, it's okay thing now to flip records and make a buck. Problem I have is something that's probably going on right now. It's been going on the last 24 hours, where they put on sale the Beatles In Mono again on LP record, and everybody's going nuts for it and trying to buy them. And they had this limit of 4 per customer. Why 4? Why? It's like almost like it's encouraging that, and then they make it really kind of scarce, and all these sites were selling out very quickly, and box sets were already showing up on eBay. I think it's great if you're buying a copy for yourself. I think it's really crappy if you're buying 4 copies and trying to sell 3 of them to make profit. I don't know. It just gets under my skin, this sort of capitalism and the unbelievable amounts of money that are just tied up in this. At some point, it just gets a little ridiculous. I've seen a lot of defense of flipping. In my mind, if you're flipping records, if you're buying stuff up and then you're turning it around right away, if you're the creep next to me at record store day and you're like just buying everything up and you don't really give a shit about any of it. You're not a music fan. You're not like dying to hear that record. You just want to buy it up so you can put it on eBay or turn a profit. I can't stand you. Like that's you're no different than people that are scalping tickets on Ticketmaster. They're buying everything up and then selling them to on StubHub or Ticketmaster resellers or whatever. It's scalping. There's another way of looking at it. It drives me absolutely crazy. Okay, that's number 2. Let me consult my list. I think I'm on a roll here. This kind of goes along the vinyl fetishization, but not as big of a deal. I really can't stand the flippers, and I can't stand these audiophile elites that drive everybody insane. The third one for me that I just want to rant about is and it's mostly people that are a little older, that just sort of pretend like digital doesn't even exist. Like, no, if it's not on vinyl, then it's like it doesn't exist. I mean, have you heard the new Adrian Lenker live record? You're not going to get it on LP. It would probably cost you about $80 and it would be 3 different LPs. I do wish there was something physical there. At the same time, are you not going to listen to Adrian Lenker because it's not available on LP? Same thing with like a recent Nick Cave live record. There's an abbreviated version on vinyl, but the whole thing, the whole experience is available digitally. And part of that, I think, is because there's more room, expense as well, but also there's just more room to sort of tell that story and get fully into it without worrying about the confines of vinyl. But I do just get a little frustrated sometimes where people just pretend like it doesn't exist, or they pretend like we're 10 years ago where the quality is really bad. It's not. It's pretty damn good, honestly. Again, an album pressed well, absolutely. I don't think you can beat it, on a decent system. Not talking about a super high end, like whatever. Decent stereo system. And yes, we can tell with our ears. If you listen to a record on a vinyl record that way, I think it is the best way of listening to something. But let's not forget that. Let's not pretend things don't exist or somehow it's just so inferior. A lot of records, let's be honest, a lot of things we listen to, we check out once or twice, we listen to it once or twice, and we forget about it. I do that with digital. It's a perfect way to do that. Pay me a subscription fee. I listen to something a couple times. If it doesn't do much for me, I won't buy it on vinyl. If it does, eventually, it will find a way into my collection for sure if it's something I keep listening to. But yeah, I just don't like flipping. I don't like these audiophile elites. I don't like the elitism that comes with this vinyl resurgence thing. I find it really annoying. It's music. It's the music, stupid. Mazzy says that. It's 100% true. It's the music. It floats through the air, right? It doesn't even need a medium anymore, really. Of course, again, I love vinyl. I'm not, I'm in the VC. I'm in the vinyl community, although sometimes I would just like, maybe I should divorce myself from that because I don't like all the drama associated with it. But I do have a channel here and I do love vinyl, and I'm definitely not saying that, but I'm just trying to complain about a few things. Would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think, and we'll keep the conversation going. Thanks.